Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another edition of Dragon Ball Super Manga Reviews, which I'm going to be reviewing Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 12 and giving my thoughts on it as we go along through the review. So, just as always, Toyotaro is bringing his own adaptation of the events that happen in the Dragon Ball Super anime at this point in time, so without further ado, let's jump into that and see what the differences are between the two. Well, in this case, like last time, there was no time skip when it comes to Dragon Ball Super's manga, and it basically started off where it left off, Vegeta versus Cobra, which essentially, of course, happened in the anime so far, and we already knew the results, but Toyotaro brought his own different spin on it with this fight, and honestly, the offense in this fight in many ways was actually better than the offense in the anime, and that tends to be the case with these Super manga chapters. They tend to put in a lot more spots, a lot more back and forth, or a lot more fighting, in techniques and moves used. And in general, I thought it worked pretty well in this case. We still pretty much got the exact same story beats. Cobra starts off taking advantage of Vegeta. He's basically, getting the better of him, but then Vegeta powers up into his Super Saiyan form and starts to just kick the holy crap out of Cobra, who is unable to transform into Super Saiyan form himself. And just like in the anime, Vegeta grabs Cobra by the scruff of his neck and threatens to destroy Planet Sadal after he's done with them, so that he can activate the rage within Cobra so he could transform into his Super Saiyan, which just like in the anime, he does. And honestly, during that scene, I do kind of felt like the anime did it a little bit better when it comes to Vegeta's threat against him and the animation that was done in it, but in this case, when Vegeta throws him up into the air, his transformation to a Super Saiyan is a little bit more impressive in the manga, because in the manga, Cobra transforms after Vegeta blasts at him, and he just releases his rage and just stops the blast as it comes towards him. And just like in the anime, Cobra goes and flies at Vegeta in a rage. However, it appears that just like in the anime, that rage is really doing nothing to Vegeta because Vegeta is so much more powerful overall than Cobra. But then under command of Vegeta, Cobra transforms once again, and Vegeta transforms into his Super Saiyan Blue form. And just like in the anime, we see that Hit is alerted to this. However, there isn't that cool little spot in which Hit looks to see Vegeta and then looks over to see Goku, who nods and smiles at him. And also the way that Vegeta beats Cobra is different in the manga than it is in the anime, because Vegeta hits him in the gut with a elbow as opposed to punching him, and there isn't that one scene where Vegeta is telling him while he's about to fall over into unconsciousness, remember this pain. So honestly, I felt like when it came to this fight, in terms of the overall story and character development, that the Super manga probably didn't do as good of a job in terms of the overall execution of that development, and I guess some of the drama, but overall it still did a really good job and held its own compared to the adaptation in the anime, which it's really hard to compete with that because of the fact that the anime started to get so much better around that point in time, so really the manga really has to live up to that. In some ways it didn't. But again, we also find out about Hit's motivations revolving around that cube, Vados telling Champa about it, and then Hit steps into the ring to have that next fight with Vegeta. And Vegeta knows how powerful Hit is, like he's expected it the entire time, so immediately he goes into Super Saiyan Blue, and he goes at him, and just like in the anime, Hit picks him apart using the Toki Tobashi technique, hitting him over and over, and just like in the anime, the fight doesn't really last very long, as Hit basically beats him within the course of a few pages. So in both cases, to be honest, I wasn't really that big of a fan of the fight between Vegeta and Hit. Sure, Hit kicked his ass and beat him pretty easily, but the fact of the matter is I felt like there should have still been a little bit more done to make the fight better, more enthralling, to give more hints about Vegeta as the one who kind of figured out his technique over time, and Goku expands upon that, and there's other stuff that I just feel like it should have been better. Vegeta kind of went out like a bitch in both cases, and it kind of summarizes what they tend to do with Vegeta. Oh, you can get these cool little kills on these minor villains, but ultimately, once it comes to the main villain, you're just gonna go out like a bitch, and that's what he did. And then one of my least favorite moments that happened in the anime happened once again, as the Omni King tells Goku about Hit's Toki Tobashi technique, and basically allows Goku to get that kind of advantage over him in the fight that comes up. And again, I hated that when it happened in the anime, and so I hate it when it happened in the manga, and you could tell more about the stuff that I hate on my 10 things that I did with Geekdom 101 that we do not like or that we hated in the Dragon Ball Super Champa arc. But overall, that's basically it. Goku steps into the ring to fight Hit, setting up their next fight. There's a brief exchange in which Hit punches Goku in the face, and basically we're underway to the next manga chapter, which I assume is going to finish the fight between Goku and Hit, and honestly, I really am doubtful that the manga is going to live up to the quality that the anime was between the fight between the two. It's already still got some of the same problems that the anime had in terms of the writing, and honestly, when it comes to just the manga form and how rushed all these chapters tend to be, I'm sure that's not going to live up to it, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But overall, this has been my review of Dragon Ball Super Manga Chapter 12. Let me know your own thoughts down below. Do you agree with me about this? Do you disagree? What did you think of this manga chapter? Are you still disappointed that they haven't gone, just time skipped already and they're still showing us the same thing? Or do you really like to see the differences between the two, and you're more anticipating the manga releases than currently the anime? Because I guess the anime is quote-unquote filler right now, even though there's not really any filler at Dragon Ball Super. But let me know down below. Don't forget to check out my other manga chapter reviews in the description. As I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Do it now. What are you waiting for?
Do it now, you puny man. Who cares about the universe 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Blah.
I'm from the universe of biceps. Wow.